All right, everyone. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Alistair Bremner, also known on Instagram and the social platforms as Mr. Optimal. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
What's up, guys? I'm Mr. Optimal. Make sure to go follow the Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, I'm Alistair. I hired Vince and Liam to help me scale my business, and we did just that, no doubt. Like it worked. So just here to talk about that a little bit and everything that they helped me
Oh
with.
yeah, oh yeah, dude. Just so people have context, can you kind of run the viewer through what you help people with, and what's your unique narrative, like what you help people with, the whole nine, like what
Yeah,
your offer is, just full stack.
100%. So I help skinny fat guys get rid of their muffin top. So, I'll help you build muscle, burn fat, get stronger, and fall in love with that process, not starving, not giving up your favorite foods, doing all those things that you enjoy while making progress in terms of your fitness goals and your health, right? My background, what got me into that is I'm like a recovering addict myself. So everybody has a history, right? Something that gives them some type of trauma to why they're not where they're at, where they want to be right now. And I overcame that, and fitness was kind of my niche of how I channeled that like version of myself, the better version of me. So basically, I help people get in shape, but in doing so, I'm also like a life coach. Like I'm trying to teach them how to be the best version of them, like inside and out the gym, being best physically, mentally, like because all of that pours into your work as well. Because I noticed the second that I got sober and started going to the gym, because I was like, damn, I need to do something that helps me, right? And as it helped me get better physically, mentally, it also like made me more motivated in work, in school, like everything. And it honestly drove me to where I'm at now. Like it gave me the tools to kind of be the person I am. So I kind of catch people in a sense of they're down bad. They don't look the way they want to be. Like they don't feel the way they want to feel. And I use fitness as a way to kind of open them up, right? And be like, not only just drive them to be a better version of themselves physically, but like, how can we make you the best version of yourself? Like every fucking day. So even when whatever bullshit life throws at you on a daily basis, because everybody has that, you can overcome that shit no problem. Because you're just like, well, I take it moment by moment, and I know that I can overcome this if I just put my head down and fucking do it. You know what I mean? And that's what I teach people to do with fitness. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
For
Yeah,
sure.
100%. Yeah, we talk about that all the time too. Fitness really is it's the base of everything if you think about it. Like you can't build a business if your mind body's not fit.
Vince
As like
listens
as
to
corny as it sounds,
win
it's true.
story every morning. I see your win story every morning. Like your little after you leave the gym, you're like, did you do pull ups until you, I saw one morning you're like, did you do pull ups and superset them with squats until you threw up at like 6 in the morning or something? And I was like, you're like, fuck yeah, right? Because like, dude, when you start your day off with that, investing in yourself, doing some of the hardest shit, something you don't want to do, right? Like physical activity, eating something that you probably don't want to eat when there's some like yummy food right in front of your face because of how society is. But when you learn that impulse control and you wake up and start your day like that, it sets yourself up for success every other step of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just become a Terminator. Like literally, like you just keep making those decisions all the way throughout the day, and they stack on top of each other. So it becomes like harder to screw up the more times you don't screw up.
100%. Because you start learning that you feel good when you hold yourself accountable. That's all it
Yeah,
is. It's all the realizing that, holy shit, I kind of like discipline. Like people like it.
Mhm.
They just don't know that they like it because they aren't able to get themselves in it. Right? So it once you get the person there, man, and kind of provide that structure, but everybody's different, right? And that's why I do it through fitness because everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. Everybody gets driven by a little bit different shit, like how I get into people's heads and get them motivated. You know what I mean? So everybody's different. Just like how you help every client scale their business is there's principles that need to be implied, right? But everybody's a little bit different, right? So it's that personal twist as well. That's why I feel like the coaching that I do works because I'm not just training people like they're robots. I'm training people like they're people.
yeah, for sure.
Like you said on the story the other
So
day, you were like, once you realize that you are trying to provide value and help people, everything else comes. You put that on your story the other day, but you have to learn that it's about providing and actually making a
mm,
difference. not just, oh, I want to make this X amount of money or this amount of dollars. You know what I mean? Like you have to want to change and help people change.
Yeah, you have to. It's weird how it's like every pursuit starts off immature. Like going to the gym, it's because you want to get jacked for, you know, look good, like look better than the people around you, or you know, attracting females, whatever it may be. But after just a couple months, it becomes like a completely different thing where you need to do it for your own mental well-being, especially if you're busy as hell during the day. So, and same with money. Like it starts off super immature, like yeah, I want the whole all this shit, but then you realize like no, it's so not about that once you start making some money.
It's like what fills my cup isn't the fact that I have a good month. What fills my cup is the fact that I know every person that I get like walks away with me genuinely like I changed their life. Like
Mm,
the funnest, I think the best part for y'all is like when you get a testimony from a client, they're like, bro, you changed my life, right? Like you literally
yeah,
have, y'all have helped change my life. When I get a testimony from a client and they're like, dude, I am killing it at work. I feel better than I ever have. I look better than I ever have. I'm stronger. My kids are more motivated to like be fit because they see that. My wife is more motivated to be fit because she sees that. Like that type of shit makes me want to jump through the fucking wall, bro. Because I'm just like, dude, I've changed someone's life, and
yeah,
that also makes all the bullshit of my past that I experienced mean something as well. Because now I'm using it to help people. So it's all about how you like use these things and apply them. You know what I mean?
100%, man. Yeah, I mean that's how we were feeling at the end of last month when you let us know what you finished at, bro. We were fucking stoked for you because you
Bro,
came in and fucking you went crazy. You
bro,
want to
like
just kind of like give everyone for context where you were before, like coming across us working with us, and then I guess what you finished out last month at.
so I was making like slow month like maybe like 5 8K, like great month like 12 15K in a range, right? And it was pretty inconsistent because my funnel wasn't as consistent, right? So like that's a given. And then last month I think we did 38K, right? Like that month, bro. So and that's what my second month in the program, right? The month before that
congratulations, by the way.
what did we do? Like I think because I can't look back on Stripe, I'm trying to look now. But the month before that, I think we did what 32K. We had 32K in one month and a 38K month. And this month, I even saw like we were just talking about it. Some people are even having like a slower month. I'm at 30K, so a little bit slower, bro. But
That's awesome, bro.
last
You might finish out at
You
50.
might crack 50.
yeah, like this last four, dude. Like so I like bro, it just works, and it's all about like applying the funnel, bro. Like it's everything that y'all set me up with in terms of like how to you didn't change anything about my program. You just allowed me to refine it and make it more efficient and how I'm delivering it and funneling any lead that I have, which is like the most valuable thing that I've ever been able to use because it's almost overwhelming like how I would try to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So dude, like it like y'all changed my life. Like I said, bro, like y'all helped me go from being able to do everything I wanted to in my life and kind of not worry about finances to literally like, dude, like I want to, like I said, I had a past. Like I've been a drug addict before. Like I've been to jail 3 times, like taking money from my parents. Like my parents are old age, still working, bro. Like in a couple months, y'all might give me the opportunity to retire my parents, bro. Like,
I
you know what
love
I
to
mean?
hear that, bro.
Like that's,
That's like what you were saying earlier about the feeling
yeah,
of like a client just seeing what they're able to do. That's such a good feeling, man. That's actually why we stopped working primarily with like bigger businesses, because we would do something that like help them out, like and like serious revenue increase, but it's like a guy that's already making like 7 million a year. What's like another 700 or 800,000 on top of that? Versus like we can apply those same things at scale to like a group of people that are kind of like they're not all the way up there yet, and it's the difference to them is massive compared to like, yeah, we might be generating the same amount if not more for like bigger guys, but it doesn't have the same amount of impact. And I know it's like a really overused word, but that's like literally like what it is.
And it doesn't fill your cup as much, honestly, either. Like what I've
Yeah.
noticed is like I just got off a call with somebody and we were talking. And he's like, "Bro, you seem like." He's like, "You give me so much information. Like even if I didn't sign up, like the guy I just signed for the PIV for 2000. He's like, you give me so much information on this call. Like even if I didn't sign up, I don't even understand. Like that's like why I knew to reach out to you." And I was like I'm here to make an impact. Like even if you don't give me the money, like I want to help people. That's also why I make the money I make. Because I'm not just on the phone call to make money. I'm on the phone call because I genuinely want to help you. Right? Like I'm invested in you as a person. I want
Yeah.
to see you succeed because that's what also fills my cup. Like, like and
Yeah.
again, it's about passing it forward. The stuff you guys do for us, like if we don't apply that to our business, we can't help impact people, right? So it's all about how you look at things. Perspective is the biggest thing, man. And like I said, taking me from not having to worry about like it was awesome when I had myself set up at like 5 to 12K a month. It was awesome having money to like take my family out to dinner and pay for things and live like a normal life, right? Not have to ask for help if they could help me, like giving them that freedom of I pay my own bills, all that stuff, right? But being able to say like I could retire my family if I want to here soon, my mom and dad. Like if they want to keep working, they don't have to because they own their own gym. Like I'll be able to be like here, like if you don't want to work,
Yeah.
you can not work, and that's like a lifelong dream that I've had. That's like fulfilling something that like internally will make me feel better about myself, bro. Like I don't like the fact that I fucked up when I was younger, and that's the reason they're still working because they love me enough to pay for my mess ups, right? So it's like it's all about perspective and how you utilize these things. Like y'all have changed my life. I'm helping change people's lives. And I feel like that's why the funnel does work and the impact does work because you're working with people that really are trying to make a difference. Like you said, impact is an overused word, but if you mean it, it's a big thing.
It is. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I've noticed that specifically with you too, and like it makes obviously a ton of sense why now you've reached this point. Like I remember when we first started chatting, and you were mentioning that you do personalized client message to every single one of your clients every single day through text. Like it's obviously the focus for you, like impact. Obviously, it's overused. It sounds a little corny, but like truly, it pair that with obviously like the right system, and it's just you can't not win at that point.
100%. I'd take, like I said, dude, I had like 20 to 30 people usually. That was like my max before we started. I have 72 clients right now, bro. Like, and those are some high and mid ticket people, right? Because we have the system, but like 72
Yeah.
people, bro. I wake up every morning and I text all of these people personally. Like, and like, it's again, it's something like every morning, bro. I'm trying to help these people. It's something that speaks to me too, and that's why I think it works. Like this one was like the easiest thing in the world is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. Happy fucking Tuesday. Wake up today and decide to take action. That's the first step in achieving your goals. The rest is pure fucking grit. Like I said yesterday, anything that happens to you can be for you if you decide to grow through it. Carpe fucking diem. So like, I give this shit to these people because, dude, like when I was going through my shit and trying to be the best version of me, I would like go look at motivational quotes or podcasts or like fitness influencers I looked up to. And thank God for those people for inspiring me to be myself, for like try to do this too. Because they would say shit like that. So I know that's what I needed and I try to be what like I needed for other people, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Just like you know what works with business and you know how to scale business and you try to be for other people what you know you need for yourself, right? You know how to apply it. You know the ins and outs. That's why it works because you also care about your clients.
Oh yeah. Love to hear that. So I think a good place to go before we go into the like hyper specifics and dropping game would be like can you just like take everyone who's watching back to how you ended up coming across us and like basically like the short story of like the period of coming into here and like what your experience is like the whole nine.
Yeah. So Gabe actually, me and Gabe were in Houston, bro, and I was like, dude, me and Gabe are boys. We have this like similar background. Grew up like my parents aren't very wealthy, like just wanting more for myself, the people around me, everyone, right? Like, and we compete with each other, like because we're boys, and like we fuck with each other like that. So I'm in Houston with Gabe, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm having like a really good month this month. I'm like, I'm doing like 12K. That makes me laugh right now, right? And he's like, the fucker looks at me and he goes, you don't even want to know what my months look like right now, bro. And I was like, motherfucker, what? Like, no way, dude. And like, he started showing me, and I was like, dude, who, what, like, when, how? Like, so many questions. I was like, I need to know. And he's like, dude, he's like, I'll plug you, but like, he's like, reach out and like, don't be on some bullshit. Like, if you're gonna do it, do it. And I was like, bro, you know me. I was like, plug me right now. I reached out to y'all when I was in Houston that day because I remember you were
Yeah,
like,
I remember getting the message and everything.
you were like, you want to set up the call earlier, and I was like, bro, I'd love to, but like, I'm in Houston. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm down. Like, I need this. You know what I mean? So Gabe put me on because even seeing his numbers, like, bro, that was when he was before he was approaching 80K. So he was at like 20, 30K. Like, I was like, dude, you're fucking with me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, no. I was like, you're fucking with me. He's like, no, I'm not. Like, you want to see? And then we were at the gym that day. I was talking to somebody and I was like, yeah, dude, I got to go home and like DM everybody. And this fucker goes, I got a setter, so I'm making money right now.
Yeah, it's the first time he told us that there was one time he told us that he was like he took a nap during the middle of the day and woke up and the setter cash collected like 2 or 3 grand for him. Like Liam and I just laughed because that we have like a whole inside joke about like the leverage snooze. Like having just like a DM closer cash collecting for you while you like go to sleep or go to dinner. It's hilarious, dude.
Bro, that shit just geeked me out. Like I was again when those little jabs he gave me, and I'm competitive too, bro. Like I'm the motherfucker where I like to be like, dude, I'm gonna be the hardest worker in the room. Like I'm going to at
Yeah.
least if I don't outperform everybody, I will outwork everyone. And usually that means I outperform everybody. So like I'm competitive, bro. And so the second he started jabbing at me that day, bro, I reached out to y'all. We set up the call. I don't even think I gave you like you were like, here, it's this much. I was like, okay, I want to sign up. Like, but dude, I mean,
Yeah.
I watched the video. Even by then, he had already sent me one of y'all's TikToks where like you talk about like I did a dealt one on it where it's like you give social proof, you talk about the topic, then you give more social proof and you end with something else. And dude, my post blew up too. And his post blew up when he did that. And I was like, all right, dude, like these boys are obviously legit. I was like, I just need to see what they're really like able to give me in terms of like what y'all are providing. Then when we hopped on the call, even after the YouTube video, I was like, all right, like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, I need to do this now. Because
Yeah.
after you watch the video, you realize if you can do this in terms of like if you're not lazy enough to like actually take the steps, because it takes a little bit of effort. You have to put in effort to like make the funnel, make it bulletproof, right? Like, dude, how many times did I have to remake that video?
I think it was like 4 or 5. I remember you gave me a call.
Dude,
You're like,
it's
"Dog,
frustrating, bro. But like
But
the
so
VSL,
worth
it needs
it,
to be
right?
right, bro. When you if you do it a couple times before posting it and it's done right, it just crushes every time.
I remember. I think it was like the 3rd revision or something. You sent it over. You're like, this one's ready to rock. You're like, Liam, this is the one. Like, this is amazing. I was like,
Nope.
I was like, one more time.
Like, I was like, fuck, all right. Like, but
It's
dude,
worth it though. It's hard, but it's worth it.
How we have it set up. It's like a lot of mental intensity, but it's like so worth it because like you just do it once. It's like it's an asset you have that you can just use for a year, and then like you update it later. Like,
dude, and once you like also do it once, you kind of the second time I'll do it will be better, right? And I'll be better
easier,
at doing
easier
stuff.
and better.
But like same thing with when I get a client and they're like, dude, again, same thing. People love discipline and they love structure. I do too. I know I thrive off of it. It was frustrating getting into this structure with my business, but look how well it served me. Same thing with like
Yeah.
fitness goals. It's intimidating getting into like, dude. Again, you don't have to give up your favorite foods to get in shape, but you do have to track your calories a bit, and that might be intimidating at first if you've never done it. But holy shit, once you start getting in the groove, you realize that you love it because it provides you some discipline, some structure, and it makes your life easier. Like, dude, this has made my life easier in terms of my business. I make more money, and yeah, I have more work because I have more clients. But in terms of like my workload, just because it's not as disorganized, there's less workload. Like, let's put it this way: I was bound to get to this busy point at some point because of how much I'm growing. But if I was going to be this efficient with it, I wouldn't have been able to get there without y'all. You know what I mean? Like, because I didn't know the structure, I didn't know the funnel, like everything. There was so
Yeah.
much falling. There was so much money falling through the cracks because I just wasn't able to again funnel my
Yeah.
traction and my
Yeah, just like move the traffic to a specific point, and you have someone capturing the down low. Yeah,
it
totally.
was it was just like what the fuck. I was like, I know there's so much more to be made here. It was almost like true, like a confidence thing of like, do I need to hire somebody to like, you know what I mean? And then like once I
Yeah,
dropped that part of myself, because I am a pretty like I have pride, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've gotten myself this far by myself. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? But dude, it's so worth it. And what I mean, the $5,000 I paid for program, like, or what was it, 5,800 paid in full?
yeah,
Like
it was 5,800 at the
the
time.
5,800 I paid in full at that time. That's a like, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
same with Gabe. Like, yeah, we charged him. We charged him 6, but like literally like a
I met
15x in 2 months.
yeah, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, y'all trying to fucking like y'all want to get flown out to Myrtle Beach and go out to dinner or some shit, man? Because I feel like, oh shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all,
Yeah,
it's so worth it. Again, same thing when I get clients. They're like, they invest the money and they're like, bro, but you've given me the tools to keep making me a better version of myself forever.
yep.
That's priceless, bro. Like, it really is. Like, and I guarantee you, when we do the my year's up, like renew because y'all have helped me, and I know y'all, dude. I see all the work you put in your programs too. Y'all are coming out with the new program. Like I'm watching y'all. I watch y'all shits too, bro. Like I stay because I know like y'all are serious about it too. So I'm gonna stay with y'all as long as y'all keep helping me. And it seems like
Hell yeah, man.
y'all
Hell yeah.
The
keep
next
up
step is placing like a closer or something to take your calls for you. Then we
Yeah.
you just become a content machine, dude.
yeah, bro. Like, but complacency is the killer of progress, man. Like, if I feel like I can handle it all or do it all by myself, or I don't need somebody to give me some type of second opinion or guidance, that's when I start going backwards. Same thing with my fitness. I have a fitness coach, even though I'm a coach. Same thing with like everything I do for people. You know what I mean? It's like you just have to kind of set your pride aside, get disciplined, and then again realize that it's going to help you in the long run. So,
Yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned the thing about like setting ego and pride aside because it's really weird where it's almost like books. Like books are a weird thing, and I know like ever since like those bigger brother influencers that we can't say the name of because we'll just get annihilated on the algo. But their big thing is like, oh, don't read books. But it's kind of funny because you like need outside sources of information where you could just like take their entire body of work and compress it and put it into your own brain. But when you run any sort of offer yourself, especially if like you do it through social media, like in your head, you are the main character. So like, why would I need help from anyone else? But it's like, it's okay. Like you could take information from other people and then it's just going to push you further. Then you're even more of a main character.
exactly, exactly. Like it's not like I copied what y'all were doing and didn't do something original because there's an original spin on every person y'all work with,
Yep.
every program they put out. Again, it's
Yep.
setting that pride aside. And dude, knowledge is power. Like that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite quotes. Knowledge is power. So if you are not willing to like learn more, and there's always more you can learn, then you're not going to grow.
Always. I
You're
heard
not going to grow.
we were
And, like,
watching a
I'm glad that I've had the life experiences I've had because at least I can say I'm pretty wise in my thinking. I can admit that I always usually need help, and I do thrive well with structure. That's why the second he started fucking with me, and he's like, "You want to know my months?" and I saw the numbers. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, I'm doing like, I was like, okay, I can admit my like faults here. Like, I'm doing
Yeah,
good,
and
but
it's
like,
tough too,
I could be
bro.
doing better because I'm walking around at 25, like, yo, I make 12K a month. I've got money in my bank. I got followers on Instagram. I'm growing, and I'm in my head like, dude, I'm doing really well, right? Like, I don't need help. I am like main character. And then, Gabe was humble enough to realize first that he needed help and things were falling through his
Yeah.
and he reached out. And then when he fucked with me and was like, dude, like, because I was kind of blowing him out of the water and I was helping Gabe, bro, before like I gave Gabe a script that we were helping each other out. We were almost like business coaching each other as like friends helping
Yeah.
the boys. We
Just
were
like
like,
referring information back and forth, what's working,
yeah,
what's
like
not
we're in the
working. Yeah.
same niche. We know that we're not gonna fuck each other over because we're not like doing this for
Yeah.
clout. Like we're actually homies. You know what I mean? Like, so we were just helping each other grow. And that's why he even came to me because he knew he was like, bro, like I'll help you. Like I'll get you plugged in with them. But like, you got to be for real. And I was like, that's why I was like, bro, you know me. Like, I'm down.
Mm.
Like, let's go now. Like right now, like, so it's, again, it was just a matter of me acknowledging my faults as an entrepreneur, realizing that there's always more money to be made, and like there's always some way you can level up your system, just like there's always some way I can level up my training, my fitness, my nutrition, some way or another.
Yeah.
There's always some new piece of information to be learned so you can be better. I had to admit that and then be willing to reach out and also put the investment down.
Yeah.
Like be
Yeah.
willing to realize that this, 5,800, it's not a lot, right? Like for me now, and it wasn't even a lot for me then, but it's good. Like it was an
There's still
investment.
some sting to it.
Yeah,
There's a
and you're
little bit
like,
of sting there.
yeah, you're like, okay, but then you realize, like, dude, put my pride aside. Like, if I actually trust this, again, even watching the video confirmed that. I was like, oh my god, like it obviously works on paper, and if things work on paper, and they work on paper for a bunch of people, usually, if they don't work for you, it's your fault. Like,
Yeah, it's tough because especially with the space we're in, where it's like your ability to close deals and have a good offer is predicated on like just how good you are at your shit. It's just an interesting it's an interesting combination of like variables and everything. But usually, I mean, it's mostly it just comes out if your heart is in the right place, you can usually do extremely
I think it comes
well.
down to authenticity, bro.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
genuinely watching your video, I could tell you're like, again, it's everybody has a different personality, but you can tell when you're watching something if it's authentic.
Yeah.
You can genuinely
Yeah.
tell.
100%.
Like if something's too good to be true, it sounds too good to be true. If something looks like it's bullshit, it's bullshit. But if something looks like, yo, this is going to take some time and effort, but it obviously works, like then it's usually authentic, and you can tell by the person delivering that too. Like I'm good with people. I'm a charismatic person, but if I was charismatically bullshitting, people wouldn't be paying me. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it comes down to authenticity, the impact you're trying to make, bro, and people can pick up on that. Even
yeah.
the space I'm in,
Good.
bro, because people can bullshit me all day they want. And dude, I just had a guy, he paid me $3,000 paid in full for 6 months. And he literally said to me, well, I don't feel like following the nutrition plan because it's too intimidating, like 2 weeks in, but just for the workout plan, like that's worth my $3,000 investment. So it's like he bullshitted me the whole call. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing. If you want to start getting more into like game and like for people that are watching, I want to hear what you think about this statement. Just riff on it. Buyers are liars. I want to hear your opinion on that statement.
The people that usually immediately drop that much money or like don't have some type of intuition about it, I feel like the money doesn't mean much to them, so they're not doubled down on their investment.
I think I was more referring to like the concept that like when you're closing a deal, people will like fudge their situation. Like a prospect will fudge their situation. I'm saying like
I tell
any
people,
good.
I try to tell people, it almost sounds insulting. I'll be like, please be honest before I say something. Like when I
Yeah.
talk about their nutrition, I'll be like, now people will try to tell me a great day when I ask them these questions. But I'll say if we were having a great day, then we wouldn't be on this phone call because we'd be having a great day every day, right? So I don't care about your great days, bro. Like I care about a typical day, right? That's like if I came on and told you on the call everything that I was doing right and didn't tell you all the things I needed help with too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, buyers are liars because you will bullshit. If you're actually not about making the change and you just want to hear like what you need to do or like hear some solution, and then you think, oh, I'll pay this and it'll immediately be the solution. Like, no, it does take the work. It does take the effort. Like, again, it took what 2-3 weeks of stress of me trying to maintain my current workload, make the new video, like do so. Yeah, it was a adjustment, but the adjustment and the effort that I put into it paid off 100 million times more than I could have expected it to. You know what I mean? So like
The thing I can relate that to the most, and what I try to how I try to think about it a lot, and this because this goes to like plateaus, because like there's revenue plateaus, just like there's plateaus with putting on muscle mass. It's like there's always like you need to like push way harder to break a plateau, but like to stay there once you break it and you have like a new floor, it's like hella easy to just stay there. And like correlating that to muscle, it's like, bro, if you put on lean mass, you don't get rid of the cells. Like those muscle cells, they stay there forever.
Mhm.
So it's easy to maintain it. Like if you
You
want to
never
go into that, like
need mitochondria.
what lesson you learned that outside of like any like specific like micro like funnel stuff, what would you say is like the lesson that you learned personally that took you from like the 5 to 12K to like 30, 40 consistently? Like internal mindset lesson, I guess you could say.
don't be afraid to put more value into your plan and charge more to attract a higher client if you know that you're willing to put in the work to actually provide that value for what you're charging.
Mm.
I was over providing for what I was charging when I first got to y'all. So it was easy for me to realize. It was hard because I was almost like had to get the confidence of like I can do 3K pips, like I can do that. You know what I mean? But again, like realizing like I provide this value and I'm worth this and I'm going to make this impact. Again, like I guess the impact is the biggest thing. And realizing like what your value is for what you provide. Like
Yeah.
biggest thing
It's
is
funny because
like realize your
I was
value for what you provide and what you do. Because if you don't and you have a good traffic and your system's good, but you're just not like charging what you need to charge for what you do, then like
Still doesn't work.
yeah, like
Still doesn't work.
it only
Yeah.
hurts you. And then you have more stress because you can't do what you need to do as a person or like expand your business the way it needs to. So then you can't help as many people as you could. So you're
yeah,
only
it's funny because that's like
yourself
the
and
very
others.
common. I was gonna say that's like the very common thing that a lot of people have when they come to us, right? It's like they're just over delivering. Like, oh, how do I make more money? It's like, oh, just charge more. You can just you're allowed to charge more. That's it. It's just a limiting belief. It's like, dude,
like
just charge more.
I almost thought it was like I just need because people would ask me like, well, what do you think you should do to get this? And I'd be like, well, I just need 150 or like 200 clients with what I was charging.
Yeah.
I could
It's easier to sell less people on more money.
I could have gotten there for sure. But honestly, with that many people, can I provide that much impact doing daily messages, doing all these things?
No.
No.
No chance.
Charge what I'm providing. Charge what it's worth. Attract the people, and then also when I charge what it's worth, I attract more high quality clients. Like
Yep.
yeah, there's some people in there that will always fumble the bag and throw money away. There are people like that because there's people that are blessed in this world that can't afford to do that, right? But when you get like a high ticket package like that, and I'm signing clients that are making investments that really mean something to them, they're going to put their all into that. And then they're going to make that much more progress versus if they were paying $250 a month. And that's just something that they're fine coming out of their bank. So that's why they don't follow their plan all the time. Or that's why they miss their check-ins. Or that's why they don't do this. Because it doesn't mean anything to them. There's no skin in the game.
Yep.
Once you
That's
got
what we
skin
say
in the game,
all the time, bro. It's a flywheel. Like the reason like you have to charge more, one, because it's also like it actually helps your mentality, first of all. Like when you start getting into like the zone of sales calls, you can just go like, yeah, 3,000. You just don't even blink. Versus when you used to say like 300 or like five, maybe 1,000.
I feel like, oh,
It's good for your like,
paid in full. Like,
yeah, no, it's like it's good for your confidence, first of all, and then second, because you're actually like you're valuing yourself, and then two is that the entire business just functions better. Like every health metric of your business just functions better. Clients get better results, which means that you have more testimonials and before and afters to show on the front end in your marketing, which brings more of those like high ticket clients in. So like every metric of the business improves simultaneously by charging more.
And then you can keep raising your prices from there too.
My testimonials have been cracked since I started. Like,
Yeah.
Like I was helping people before, but again, now I get more invested people usually too. So
Yep.
like I have people that work real jobs, hard jobs. They're busy, but they also really want this for themselves, right? So they're willing to make that investment and double down in their efforts too. So that's why again it works well. Everything about it works, but you have to apply it. Like the system works. I hate to like sound like you on your stories, but like dude, the system
like
works,
it, yeah.
like it does. You just have to apply the funnel and like get it down too. Like say everything you said when we first started. What's your niche? Figure it out, right? Get it out there to people and have a system that allows it to efficiently drive all your traffic. And then once you do that, set up a value system where you give them on a call, you provide some value before you just pitch your offer, and then have an offer that allows you to get what you need to do what you need as a coach, but also that allows them to get what they need as a client. Like again, everybody wins. You guys win from me winning. I win from my clients winning. Like
your clients win because you're like it just goes all.
It's all circular.
I had a client the other day, bro. He said, I've had him, dude. When he started with me, he was 280 pounds. He's in his 230 pounds now. He's like a 20 in his 20s, young guy. He sent me a picture the other day. He made top salesman the past 2 months at his.
Oh, I fucking love it, bro.
He goes, bro, I've been killing it in the gym, and because I feel better and look better, I've been killing it at work. I'm more confident, like selling my stuff at work. Like, I just wanted to thank you. And again, same shit where you're like, when I tell you I'm about to probably retire my parents here in like 3 or 4 months, like, bro, like that shit makes me tear up almost when I get something like that. Like I've helped somebody change their life physically, but also like he's making more money. He can probably pay his bills better. He feels better about himself. Like there's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah, it's the 3 areas, bro. That's what Liam and I like. We talk about this all the time. Like the 3 areas of like health, wealth, relationships. I know everyone like says that, but it's like those are like really, if you're a guy, those are like the only 3 areas of your life. And it's like it's a weird upward spiral thing where when one improves, the other 2 slightly improve better. And when you like focus on building one, the others like keep rising over and over and over. That's why like all the guys that usually are like jacked on social media make money, it's like they just can't stop winning because they're in the upward spiral. But until you like focus and like you actually put effort and skin in the game to increasing one area, the others are going to like lag. So if you want to improve one area, don't do it just by focusing solely on it, but like everything has to go up simultaneously. It's weird how it works.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer. I tell all my clients, what you think is what you radiate to the universe. So it is an upward spiral, but once you start doing all these things, your mindset almost like becomes bulletproof. Like
you can't stop winning.
Yeah, like I'm like, bro, even if I do lose, like that shit ain't what? I'm gonna have another win 5 seconds later.
Yeah, you start not even looking at the failures as losses. It just becomes like you just know how to win better. It's like learning instead of losing.
Yeah, like everything's a lesson, and it's almost an experience too. Like, I honestly, every sales call I do now that I record them, it's an opportunity to have more stuff to say that's better. Even possible content. Like again, there's so much that goes into it, but you have to learn it. You have to look at these things. It is an upward spiral, but it only is if you look at it as an upward spiral.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To where you're like, okay, this will help me with this, and this will help me with this, but I have to be willing to let all these things like converge and meet at the pinpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's they call it like missing tile syndrome when it's like you could have the like 99 things right. Like there's 99 tiles in the ceiling, but there's one missing and you just keep looking at it. It's like the same thing. If you cash collect 2 3K PIFs and you go missing tile syndrome where you're just like, yeah, but I could have done 3 versus like, bro, I just made 6 Gs today and I know for a fact that I'm going to make these people's lives better. And it's just like when you look at it positively, you can only take wins.
And I'm going to repeat the process tomorrow too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even, and just being honest with yourself, I think the one slow week I had, I was like, dude, I set up like 4 calls and they were all like, oh, they'll get back to me. When you text me and you're like, your delivery's probably a little too fast.
Yep.
Like, again, I was like, he doesn't know me on the call. Like, that was my first thing. I'm like, you know, like, but then I thought about it and I'm like, okay, like, am I getting too comfortable where I'm talking a little faster, like, kind of making the delivery
Yeah.
too quick, not giving these people that authentic experience where they feel like they're talking to somebody on the call, and I'm actually trying to help them. Like, am I running through the calls too fast? And lo and behold, my delivery was a little too quick. Not too quick, but like I was talking faster. I was starting to ramp up my delivery because I'm thinking of more volume, more volume, more volume instead of, again,
That happens a lot, bro.
the process, the quality of the process. Not let's shoot more volume. Let's just keep the process because the process works. And it's going to keep working if I keep the quality of the process. But if I start going too quick, or if I start not doing enough and get too comfortable, that's where I lose. You know what I mean?
It's funny. It's funny because it's literally just like lifting, right? It's like you rush a lift, like you're gonna get injured. Same thing.
You take too much time sitting on your phone between sets, you get fucking out of your mindset. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you get too comfortable, you're fucked. You get too confident or cocky instead of trying to just be authentic and quality, you're fucked.
Yeah, bro. It's sales. Like sales is it's weird like that where once you start doing volume, you start. I don't want to say like getting too comfortable, but like you remember when I say that message, it's like something happens where like you almost like expect it, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a layup, so I can just kind of like blase this. But when you actually just like, no, I have to ask every question. I need to like mirror what they're saying and like actually be a human being here. I can't just be a Terminator all the time.
Yeah, like I can't just read the script and say what I've said to other people. Again, like I have to listen to what they're saying. I have to be engaged in the conversation, in every bit of the conversation. Like my thing was, I was engaged the first half of the conversation, but my delivery with actually pitching my program was getting a little too like comfortable and quick. Because I was
especially that part because you just rush through it because you expect that they know, but it's like
oh,
this
they're
human
gonna
being
sign.
doesn't know what you do.
Exactly. I was like, oh, they're just going to sign everybody else's sign. Like it's been working. So like my delivery was getting too quick. And I think they were like, almost like one, probably reading it as anxiety. Like, oh, he's too quick. Like he doesn't have that confidence in it. Or it was like, okay, he's just trying to rush through it. Like he obviously doesn't care. Like if he's rushing through this call, how do I think he's actually going to wake up and send me a morning motivational text every day for 12 weeks? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's crazy. Even like just the micro things, specifically on sales calls, like they make huge differences, right? Like if you go pacing, like do this. Da, 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 da. I remember Gabe had the same issue too.
Yeah,
he shot us over a sales call, and I remember I watched him pitch, and he was like racing through it. I was like, dude, you gotta slow down a little bit. And then he same tweak, and then just hit.
It's almost like storytelling too. If you think about it, it's like when if your program is by definition, like if that's what you're doing, it is your life's work at that moment. And if you like race through it, instead of telling a story where like you have like some pauses and some slowdowns where you really like emphasize the gravity of what you're helping people with, and you just race through it, people are just like, okay, so this is like every other program. Versus if you really emphasize like our unique approach, why our thing does differently, the whole nine. It just basically,
100%.
you just slow it down.
Engaging with the person too. Like my last pit, the guy was an engineer, and like I always use this like metaphor in my calls where I'm like, your nutrition and training is like a science experiment. So like the more changing variables that you have in any science experiment, the more inconsistent your data is, right?
Yep.
So the more changing variables that you have in your calories or your proteins, your carbs, your fats on a day-to-day basis, the more inconsistent our progress is because it's harder to quantify these variables. Like Same thing with any other system, right? But I was like, instead of just throwing it out, like I always try to put a personal spin on it. So I was like, dude, as an engineer, you probably really understand that because you're a kinesthetic learner. You have to do and learn the process, right? Before you actually really know. And he was like, dude, fuck yeah, you got nail on the head. So it's, again, engaging with people, listening to what they do and applying it to how it's going to really help them. But if I'm just like, oh, I'm a Terminator, I print, I'm going to close this call, boom, here we go. With no, again, story, no personal, like, this is how I'm going to help you, this is how it will help you, then you lose the
100%.
value. And then I don't get the sale.
Yeah,
And then I can't help
100%.
people.
Yeah. It's your duty to close them if they really need your help. But
It's like, if I believe in what I'm doing, then I have pride in like closing calls, because if I actually want to help these people, I'm invested in them. Like, same thing, do you think a therapist that you go to is any less invested in you because you pay them? People that are depressed or suicidal, right? Like, I really care about my clients. They're almost like a patient of mine, if you will. Like, again, that's why I send them personal text every day. It takes a lot out of my mental, bro, because I'm waking up and taking care of other people almost first thing in the morning, right? So it's like, to do that, bro, I really care about these people, but I have to believe that I'm really believe that at my core and know that I'm doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. For everyone watching too, if you guys haven't seen Alistair's stuff, he's an absolute weapon with content. So I want to talk about content a little bit more, because obviously that's something you're extremely good at. For everyone watching who's maybe under 10, under 5K a month, maybe just more on the getting started side of social media, like social media content, that kind of thing. What would you say is like the biggest shift or light bulb that went off in your head when you were like scaling your audience that really allowed you to start popping off, bringing in a lot more inbound leads, and then obviously like feeding the funnel with those leads?
Be myself.
Mm.
Be myself. 100% myself, bro. People like me in real life for me. People will like your and there's with fitness too, because there are so many people trying to do almost the same thing. Like, I take pride in the fact that, dude, when you watch one of my videos, even if it's maybe the same topic, somebody's made a
It's
form
very
video,
recognizable.
you know it's a Mr. Optimal video, bro. You know that shit because you know it's me. That's me. I'm myself. I'm my own personality. Whether or not you like that, whether or not you enjoy that, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be me, bro. Be authentic, dude. Like, especially if you're in fitness, because almost everyone's trying to do this now. Like, if you're not yourself, people, I can recognize that in a second, bro. And like,
Yeah, you could see it from a mile away.
dude, my content before I really scaled myself, when I was at like 10K followers, and it was getting me somewhere, I would do like form videos where I would try to spit out all the information I talk about, but as intelligently and as fast as I possibly could, because I wanted as much value packed in there. Dude, it was not me. And I was also trying to sound like, dude, like, I talk like a fucking city boy. Like, I curse. I fucking, you know what I mean? And I was trying to be like, the length tension relationship of muscles is what allows you to produce greater force at greater lengths. And it's like, dude,
You can't.
like,
It's
dude,
almost like you're trying to fit a square peg through a
in a
circle
round
hole.
hole.
Like, it literally, people can feel that there's friction, and you can't even tell it yourself. That's the weird thing. Like, you can't until like you just kind of release the pressure a little bit and you start getting more and more comfortable. That's why like it takes time for your content to start doing well. You can never just like get it 1,000% right off the bat. You just have to like decompress in front of the lens. I think that's what it is.
100%. I had to learn how to get comfortable being actually, dude, now I go in there, I turn on the camera, and I'm like,
Chilling.
like, I'm me, bro. Like, I am 100% me every, and that has made my content go exponentially out of this world, just skyrocket. Like, because people love authenticity, bro. Like,
Yep.
I used to get insecure about how people would comment about how I grunted on my videos. Not insecure, but like almost like, dude, when enough people say like, oh, you dumbass, like, you're only repping 130 pounds. By the way, that's a lot of fucking pounds for dumbbells on each side. 130 pounds, but like, why are you grunting? You get in your head a little bit, but like, dude, I don't care now. Like I'm just me,
Yeah.
and unapologetically, I get on calls with clients now, and they're like, "Hey, bro, like don't quit that grunting shit. Like I love that shit. Like I promise you, I adopted that. Like it helps me go harder in the gym." So like realizing that me being myself, just like in real life, people are gonna fuck with you, and they're also gonna hate you. They're also gonna fuck with you, and they're also gonna hate you if you're not yourself.
Yep.
So you might as well just be yourself because it's going to work out better 10 times out of 10. And same thing with your content. Yeah, you might get somewhere just like I was trying to provide a bunch of value, but not being yourself. And it still helps people a little bit. Just like you might people please people like by not being yourself, but there's still going to be people that will hate on you too. So I might as well just be myself and actually feel better about myself, get more out of what I'm doing, and be authentic too. You know, like that's
It's
the
more sustainable too, long term. Like you have to be you, or you won't be able to sustain it long term, and then that means you won't be able to sustain your business long term. They go
I
hand in
think
hand.
100%. And I think people like, bro, it makes it so much more enjoyable. Like when I was doing that, I would stress about content. Like,
Yeah, you don't want to go do it the
bro,
whole
like,
nine.
dude, I
You get
was,
sweaty in front of the
oh,
camera.
I have to make a video, bro. Like, people, my girlfriend asked me, she said, if you like won the lottery, like billions of dollars, like if everything was perfect, what would you be doing? Like, what is your dream?
Content.
And I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like this, but because I fucking love it, because I get to be me, bro. Like, I get to work out, coach people, and it's work. It's a lot of work. I'm working 14 to like 15-hour days, bro. Like, it's a lot of work, but like, I get to be me every second of the day, bro. Like, fuck, dude. I
It's
wouldn't
freedom, bro. Like,
to the world, bro. Like, I wouldn't, and I get to
yeah,
make a good amount of money doing it. Like, that's
Yeah,
everybody's
it's
dream, bro. When you're a little kid, bro, and you think about like what I just want to do my dream and make money. Like, dude, I'm living the little kid's dream, bro. I'm making money and living my dream, doing what I love.
yeah, it's weird because like a lot of people, especially that are similar or like try to pitch that they can do stuff similar to us. Other thing is like, oh, they try to like cater to like, oh, freedom, monetize your passion, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but you don't get it. Like you're just
Yeah.
using the word, but you don't understand like at a root cause effect level what that even means. Like what you just said right there, that is like actually like the fact that you can bust your ass for 14 hours a day, but like you get the best sleep of your life because it's I hate to say fulfilling because that sounds like a buzzword, but that's the best word I can use.
It fills my cup. I don't I
Yeah.
don't I don't stay up watching a TV show because my existence for 8 to 10 hours of the day before that was something I hated. I don't want to sleep in too much because I genuinely do love what I do, even though it's a long work day some days. And I am like fuck when the alarm goes off because I'm tired. But dude, once I get up and I get going, I'm like dude, it becomes second nature. When my work days for 15 hours feel like they've been 3 hour blips.
Yep.
When you're working a dead end job, it feels like a fucking 36-hour shift when you've been in there for 6 hours or 8 hours. That's how I know I love what I'm doing. Because I'm doing more than I've ever been doing, but it literally, my days go by like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, when the days blend together, you know you're doing something right. Like
Yeah,
actually.
bro.
It's
And
that
when you're
straightforward.
working your ass off too, like all of those days. Like, but that's when you know
yeah,
you really do love what you do. And like I'm making a difference. And I feel like again, not to sound cheesy of like, oh, I'm living my dream, bro, because obviously I didn't have this dream of when I was 5 years old, like I'm gonna be a fitness influencer. But in terms of like I am doing something that is a passion of mine, it fulfills me and I'm making a difference. Like that's and I'm making money. That is the definition of like living your dream. You know, being happy, making a difference, and making money. Like I'm doing it, and I am doing it because of y'all's help. Like I was doing those things before, but now it's 10 times more than what it was because I have a system.
dude, yeah. I think that's where a lot of beginners go wrong too. Is like they associate the success of the business growth with like freedom in this, not in the sense of like I get to do what I want to do, but like I don't have to do work, right?
Yeah.
They don't correlate the two things together because, bro, if you think about it, if you actually didn't work, like if you just sat on a beach all day, you'd be miserable.
Yeah.
You'd be absolutely
I would not
miserable.
love my
But-
life, bro. Like,
No, it would
exactly,
suck, dude.
exactly.
Like, I legit like even if I take like half a day off, I get like not anxious, but like you just like it's almost like compulsive. Like, no, I just actually like this stuff.
dude, I had this realization when I was like, because I used to watch like TV shows, and I had a thing where I'd like, I'm gonna eat my lunch and watch my show, like, and I was almost like overwhelmed because I hadn't been able to do that with how much more work I had. And then like when I went to the hospital and had to like rest those last 3 days last week, I was going nuts, and I was
Yeah.
and it almost hit me where I was like, holy fuck, I love this, like enough to where like
I love
Yeah.
this shit.
I
Yeah.
want to be working right now. Like this is blowing my mind almost. Like holy shit. Like even the things I used to enjoy, I enjoy this more. So they like again when I like if I were to sit around and have all the time that I used to have where I could watch TV now, I would probably go nuts.
Dude, and that's why you're like, that separates the winners from the losers, because those that go into it with the mindset of like, oh, I need to like escape, I need to like not work anymore, I need to have passive income and like automate my business, they don't even get to the point where they need to do that
Yeah.
because their intentions were wrong from the start. But like,
That's a lazy
You know,
mindset though, bro.
exactly, yes.
Like, dude,
Yeah, if you go into it looking, they're literally going into
Looking
something
for a way
looking
out.
to
looking
get
for an
out of it. It's
looking
like,
for a
bro,
way out, bro. Like you're already
Yeah.
looking to escape. You want out. You
Yeah,
don't.
you have to go
you don't
deeper
want
into it.
bro. You can't make
Yeah.
an impact if your goal is exit strategy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like they're literally. That's what I think beginners really like. I think the 10K a month mark. I know everyone talks about it, but I think it's kind of like a special separator where it's like if you can push past that and just like consistently get to like the 10, 20, 30, and you're finally like there, something happens where you work more, but because you're actually using your brain and solving complex problems every day for other people, like you work more, but it doesn't even feel like work anymore. Once you break, it's specifically that mark though, because I still remember when I was a fucking beginner, like, dude, getting to 10K a month was like it's like, bro, why does it feels like my brain isn't working? I don't want to do this shit. And then like you break past it and you're like, I love this shit. And it's like that inflection point when you decide that you like this and you want to go deeper is when you break way past it.
100%. And like, dude, I think it really just you have to be honest with yourself in terms of are you built for this? Like, do you actually want this? Do you tell yourself that you want this because again you want the way out, or like do you actually want this, bro? Like, I can say that I went into this with I knew that I needed, dude. I have lost 4 of my closest friends to overdose, suicide. I've been to jail. I've had felonies. Like my past, not a good kid. Don't have the best past. Was around gun violence, selling drugs, sold drugs, like bad things, right? Like I knew I needed to live differently and make an impact so I could be okay with my soul and myself, and also like with the things that I had done in my past. It needed to mean something, right? And I wasn't looking for a way out. I was looking for a way in. Like, how can I help people? How can I be a better me? How can I get myself to the point where I deserve to make this much money and have the knowledge to help people? And it was a gruesome 6 to 7 years of getting myself right with my fitness and my nutrition, going back to school, like doing all of these things. I coached people for free for the first like year, bro, when I was doing this shit. And I was personal training in my parents' gym. Plus, I was going to school.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, again, I know work, but I can tell you those 15-hour days felt like I said 36-hour shifts because now I'm at the point where I love every moment of my day. So there's going to be those moments, bro. There were moments when I was editing that video where I didn't love every fucking moment of my day. Holy shit. You know what I mean? There's going to be those moments. But like, dude, if you can keep pushing and overcome, like that's what sets apart the winners and the losers though. So you cannot sit here and tell yourself you're about this if you ain't about it, bro. Like at the end of
Yeah.
the day, talk is cheap, dog. Like get up off your ass and work, bro. Like
Yeah. The more you're like, I think that the true like differentiator between, I mean, really, if you think about it, like people are just, it actually boils down to like if people are selfish or not is why they can't get anywhere. Because like, yeah, you go in, you need to like have that initial like self oriented focus initially, but really once you get some momentum going, you got like your first deal or so closed, and you just switch completely to a perspective of like, okay, how can I just basically increase the amount of people I can get results at scale in the same amount of time, and then you just make way more fucking money. Like it's just that
100%.
simple.
100%. And then again, but I feel like it only works if you go into that with your mindset being, I want to help people, not I just need to make money. Because like, bro, again, with I wanted to make money, but I knew, like, dude, everything I do, like my goals, I want to be able to provide for my family in the future, give them a life I like didn't have. I want to be able to retire my parents. Like all of these things, even though they're for me, are not selfish. They're not inherently like again a way out. Like I'm driven. That's why I wake up every day driven, bro, because it means something. But you can't tell yourself you want this if it's a selfish thing. Again, if it's a way out. How can I just be lazy? How can I do nothing? You gotta want to make an impact, and you gotta want to change and level up, like everywhere, bro. You know what I mean? Like not just in the parts where you feel like you might need to. Again, when I reached out to y'all, there were areas I knew I needed to level up. Then there were areas y'all brought to light where like, hey, this sucks too. Like it needs to be better. And that might hurt, sting a little bit when you hear that, but that doesn't mean it's not any less true. You know?
For sure. Guess like coming more towards the end here, if if someone were considering joining highticket.com, what would you say to them?
Do it. If you're about your shit, you know you're able to make an impact. And dude, I'm not even talking about followers, right? Like if you know you care about your people and you can make a difference in whatever your niche is, you care, do it because it'll pay off. Your investment, you will make your money back 10 times. But you got to be willing to work too. You got to be willing to listen to you guys. And it works 100%. Your system works. The funnel's bulletproof. Like you said, once we get all this done, you kept reaffirming me when I revise the video, do this, do that. You said, dude, if you do these things, I promise it'll be bulletproof.
Yep.
Proof is in the pudding, and the pudding's there, bro. 30K and then 38K. This month,
Yep.
30K, and this has been a slower month for people in the group. Like, bro,
I think we can push you to 100, dude.
Yeah,
Like in the
I think you
doubt.
can get to 100, bro.
The only reason this month is even slower is because last week I was in the hospital for 4 days. So, dude,
Yeah.
being in the hospital for 4 days, I had to play catch up the past week and a half. So it's almost been like 18-hour days because I'm like trying to catch up from those 4 days missed. So it's been a little bit of a slowdown. That's no excuse, right? But like, bro, that's the only reason it's even a slower month because I had to cancel 4 calls. And 2 of those people rescheduled, 2 of them didn't because I think once you lose that little bit, you know what I mean? It's like, there you go. But I couldn't help the fact I went to the hospital. So it's like, but dude, I know we can hit 100K. I don't even think I know we can. Yeah, like I know I can do that. I want to push it to like, bro, if I'm not making 7 figures in the next year or so, like, then I'm not working hard. I'm doing something. It's my own fault again, because I know how to scale. We know how to do things. We know what needs to be done. Like, it's just a matter of doing it. And again, remaining honest with myself, admitting when I'm delivering too quick or doing things like that. And again, I truly believe like not separating myself from y'all or getting too comfortable. Because the second I become complacent is the second I start losing. So if somebody's thinking about joining highticket.com, do it. I've joined and I'm not leaving, right? Until y'all stop delivering for me. And that has not fucking happened ever yet. Like, I didn't even ask y'all for the content person. Liam was in the chat delivering an editor for me since I need a new editor already. Like, y'all have provided so much value, it's more than worth it.
Love to hear it.
I'm sure
I
you guys.
appreciate it, man.
I'm sure
Appreciate
you
it,
guys
bro.
take pride in doing that, and like that's again why I'm successful because most of my clients come back to me saying, "Dude, this has been worth more than my investment." Like, holy shit, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I can tell you from somebody who takes pride in what they're doing, I know y'all take pride in what you're doing because it fucking works.
100%.
Oh yeah, man.
Well, yeah, man, probably wrap up here.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just cut the recording.